Hey guys, so over the past few months I received a lot of requests for this video, and I guess because of my last video on Tati, even more requests came through. So I thought I'd address the issue and share my thoughts on the situation and why I didn't feel the need to make this video earlier. So, as we know, Tati has a series on her channel called WTF, where she reviews super expensive beauty related products, shares her first impressions, and reviews whether the high price of the item is justified. She also has a series called OMG, wherein she demonstrates and reviews unusual beauty products currently on the market, both of which make up a huge portion of her channel. If there's an unusual or expensive beauty product on the market, you can be sure that Tati will cover it. It's kind of become her thing at this point. Having said all that, people have been noticing that lately Jeffree Star has sort of been doing the same thing on his channel, which generally speaking, I don't necessarily believe is an issue, but when you start comparing Tati's reviews to Jeffree's, you'll notice that they have a lot of the same items in common, most of which Tati will be the first one to review, followed by Jeffree only a few days later, or at least that's what it seems like at first glance. So as usual, you guys, I'm going to present my findings and share my opinion with you and leave it up to you to decide how you feel about it. But I will say that after I looked into the issue, I initially wasn't going to go through with the video. But the more I thought about it, the more sense it made to use this as an opportunity to share a side that perhaps you hadn't thought of, and also to point out that sometimes things aren't always as they appear on the surface, if that makes sense. I think there's a lot to keep in mind when it comes to creating content, but let's get into it and walk through it together. Okay, so I pulled all of the related reviews from both Tati and Jeffree's channels. The first one being the $200 La Prairie Skin Caviar Concealer Foundation. Tati uploaded her WTF First Impressions video on November 25th, 2015, and Jeffree uploaded his on April 13th, 2016. From what I can see, this seems to be Jeffree's introduction to high-end beauty reviews, which he actually does indicate in this video that he had seen Tati's video previously, which inspired him to review the foundation himself. So he's obviously aware of this series on her channel, but adding to that, the fact that he uploaded his video 5 months later, when the product was obviously not new on the market, would lead me to believe that this was not something that he copied from her for the sake of a video. It seems more likely to me that this was something that would be right up Jeffree's alley, as we know Jeffree can be bougie and he just wanted to try it and share his thoughts. I mean, if he was truly copying her, I don't think he would preface his video by drawing attention to the fact that he saw it first on her channel. I think in this industry there's a fine line between copying and being inspired by someone or something, and I don't think there's anything wrong with being inspired by something and putting your own spin on it for your own channel. Next up, we have the $85 Christian Louboutin Loubilaque Lip Lacquers. So Tati uploaded her WTF First Impressions on July 6, 2016, and 10 days later, Jeffree uploaded his review on July 16th, 2016. Now we have to keep in mind that obviously these glosses came out around that time, and a launch like this for sure is going to be a hot item to review, as were the Christian Louboutin nail polishes and lipsticks, so you're bound to have a ton of the same reviews coming out on YouTube at the same time. I think another thing to note in this case is the difference in views between them on these videos, Tati being at 1.3 million views and Jeffree being at almost 5 million. Please don't get me wrong, I am not by any means saying that Tati's views pale in comparison to Jeffree's, because 1.5 million views on a video is insane. But the difference in views tells me that Jeffree clearly has his own audience that look to him for his reviews because of how he delivers them, and vice versa. In this particular example, I don't believe that Jeffree stole Tati's idea. Next up, we have the $200 Sisley Double Tenseur Skin Primer. Ooh, fancy schmancy. So Tati uploaded her video on September 21st, 2016, and similar to the Louboutin lip glosses, Jeffree uploaded his review of the primer 9 days later on September 30th, 2016. So at this point, I do get that it's starting to look a little suspicious, but in Jeffree's video, he does go on to do a complete makeup tutorial, which in my eyes, even if he did copy or get the idea or was inspired by Tati's video, he at least put his own spin on the video and added a makeup tutorial as well. So I think the argument I've been hearing being Jeffree ripping off Tati's ideas and research kind of hits a dead end here. Because while theoretically, even if he did take the idea from her, his video is not a direct direct copy of hers. And once again, look at the views. Tati is currently up to 800k, while Jeffree is over 1.2 million, which further strengthens the point I made earlier about Jeffree having his own audience separate and apart from Tati's. But yes, I do agree, on the surface and without actually looking into the situation, one could easily assume that Jeffree copies Tati, which again, I'm still not convinced of at this point anyway, but let's explore a little further. So next we have this Silisponge, and everyone thought that Tati was the first to review it, but Jeffree beat her out by one day, having uploaded his review on December 11th, 2016, and Tati uploading her OMG video on December 12th, 2016. But what was interesting is that this video was the catalyst that started the copycat rumors, when in fact it was Jeffree who was first to upload. I think what happened here was that because Jeffree's videos have traditionally followed Tati's, people just assumed that the same was true in this case. But again, if you look at the views, Jeffree leads by over 3 million views, and in my opinion, this is not someone who needs to copy anything from anyone, as he can clearly hold his own. Also, if you guys don't know how videos work, and I do think people underestimate just how long they take to film and edit, and in this case especially, it is very clear that both of their videos were in the works at the same time coincidentally, and that there really wasn't any copying of any kind here. Next up, we have the $125 Clé de Peau Radiant Cream Foundation. So again, Tati uploaded her WTF First Impressions video on September 7th, 2016. And Jeffree uploaded his video almost 5 months later on January 16th, 2017. Not only was there a huge gap of time between the two videos, but Jeffree's video, in my opinion, is totally different than Tati's in that he's comparing a high-end foundation to an affordable foundation. So on this one, I am confused as to how people interpreted this as Jeffree copying Tati at all. Yes, people tune in 100% for the review, for sure, but a lot of people tune into an influencer because they connect with them in some way, so again, I don't see how Jeffree's video was in any way copied from Tati's almost 5 months earlier. Next, we have the $95 Clé de Peau highlighter, and we have a similar situation to that of the foundation, where Tati uploaded her WTF First Impressions video on July 27, 2016, and Jeffree uploaded his video comparing the Clé de Peau highlighter to a more affordable option on December 9th, 2016. So do you see where I'm going here, you guys? I really don't see this as a situation where he's copied her at all. But moving on to the next item, it is the $140 by Terry All-in-One Primer, and again, Tati is first to upload on December 28, 2016, and Jeffree follows with another high-end, low-end comparison about a week later, and I can see that when grouped with some of the previous videos where he's uploaded a couple days to a week after Tati, that yes, on the surface it looks a little fishy, but would I go so far as to say he copies her? No. I think a better way to put it is that maybe he's inspired by her and the items she talks about, but at the same time, it could all be a coincidence. But to use the word copy, I think is a little harsh if you actually look into the situation like we are today. Next up, we have the Lancôme Rose Highlighter. So Jeffree uploaded his Is It Jeffree Star approved video on January 28th, 2017, and Tati uploaded her WTF First Impression video 4 days later on February 1st, 2017. But no one accused Tati of copying Jeffree in this case. I'm not saying she did at all. I'm saying that it was a new hot item on the market, which probably came out around the time they both uploaded, and there's always going to be one person who gets their video up first. That doesn't mean that the next person is copying. Next item we have is these super expensive gold face masks. Now, they are talking about different brands in their videos, but Jeffree uploaded his on November 30th, 2016, and Tati uploaded hers on January 4th, 2017. Now, I think it's interesting how the tables have turned a little here, where Tati is the second to upload, yet people don't accuse her of copying him. Don't you think that's odd? I just think that it's weird that people were so quick to accuse him of copying, yet nobody said a thing about her. It just kind of seems a little double standard-ish, but then again, it may be because Jeffree's more controversial, I don't know. But moving on to our last example being the lace face masks. Again, same thing, they are different brands, but they have similar functions, but guys, there's 7 months between the videos. I'm starting to think that this has only become an issue because it involves Jeffree, and that if it were anyone else, it would have gone completely unnoticed. I know that people have also accused Jeffree of copying Nikki Tutorial's challenge videos, but when you look at those, Nikki also was inspired by somebody else. She's even taken some heat for failing to give credit to the original creators, which she does amend when she's called out. But where does it end with the copycat claims? And listen, when it comes to actual beauty brands ripping off ideas from each other, that is extremely common, but where do we draw the line when it comes to content creators? As big of a platform as YouTube is, there are only so many cosmetic items to talk about, and I just think that if a creator is putting their own spin on a makeup review, that's what's going to set them apart from the next creator. And just a little disclaimer here, I am not making this video because I am pro Jeffree, and this by no means translates to me supporting him and his behavior. This story just happened to involve him, and I've taken his history completely out of the equation. So for the most important part, here's what I want to know from you guys. From the examples I shared with you, do you think the accusations that Jeffree has totally ripped off Tati's WTF and OMG series? Do you think there's a fine line between copying and being inspired by something? And I also want to know whether you as viewers would watch more than one review on the same item from different influencers. So please leave your comments below. Once again, I made this video to address the rumors that are circulating, and I've shared my opinion on the situation throughout the video, and I am in no way saying that either Jeffree or Tati have copied each other. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys again next time in a very special video. Bye guys!